श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। Author is explaining, I am that Brahman, and this is my firm conviction, assertion, and there is nothing else other than me. We had seen the questions were raised about this Mangalacharana, and from different standpoints, the question was raised, and the answer was given from absolute standpoint. And why was this question raised, and what was the purpose of answering? The purpose of question and answer was not to have any confusion whenever it is said that I am Brahman, that I refers to Nirupadhika Swarupa, me without any conditioning. Anywhere I have any idea about myself with conditioning in any form, that would land me in trouble. That would be a wrong understanding. That Atma, which was that Atma? Ya Atma Sarvantaraha, which is internal to all, self of all. That way, that Atma was explained, and that Atma is you, and that Atma is nothing but Brahman. Let's just recap in short what we had seen last time. We had seen few points where we had ascertained that self is the dearest. Why self is the dearest? Because it is innermost, it is nearer to me. And that which is nearer to me is dearer to me. And self being the nearest, because it is me myself, I am dear to me the most. And what do we mean by this statement? Not this body, because I consider this body something which is different from me. We have never said, we never express our understanding of this Sthula Sharira as I body. It is my body. My body, meaning it belongs to me. So there is this innate understanding that I am different from this body. Similarly, I am different from this mind, intellect, etc. Having understood that, it was said, when you have understood this clearly, then there is no possibility to have any confusion in the following ways. What were the ways? What were the confusions which we usually have? The question confusions are me being part and Brahman being whole. I am a small spark and Brahman is like a fire, well lit fire. And like sparks, I have come out of that fire, and at some time I will merge back into that fire again. Part and whole relationship is not possible. Then I am effect and Brahman is a cause. No, I am not an effect. I myself am Brahman. I myself am Brahman, and there is no relation of me being effect and Brahman being cause. Then another word said Adhyaropita and Adhyastha. Adhyastha and Adhishthana. Because I myself am Adhishthana, I cannot be something which is superimposed. Adhyastha. And thus I am Brahman. And in conclusion, author said, when I am referring to myself in Mangalacharana, I am referring to myself without any conditioning. And because I am referring to myself in absence of any conditioning, it is appropriate to do Mangalacharana of my Swarupa, because simultaneously it is Mangalacharana of Brahman which is Nirupadhika. Because the question was raised, it is okay to do Mangalacharana of Nirupadhika Brahman. And author said, that Nirupadhika Brahman I am, and because I am that Nirupadhika Brahman, doing Mangalacharana of me, who is Nirupadhika, the Mangalacharana of that Nirupadhika Brahman is as good as done. Now the question is raised, which is a logical question, that is the fourth akshepa. The question is raised, Chaturthaha akshepaha. Nanu भवत् गुरुपरम्परागत सगुणेष्ट देवता नमस्कारात्मक मंगलम युक्तम कर्तुम इति चेत. Now if you say nanu, but if you say bhavat guru paramparagata, bhavat guru parampara, the lineage of teacher and taught, the teacher, guru and shishya parampara, there is a tradition, lineage, and in that parampara guru gives certain upasanas to its shishya, then shishya will give that same upasana to his shishya, and similarly that upasana is carried out. So they have one common ishta devata, and doing Mangalacharana of that Ishta Devata, which is a Saguna, with Guna and with form. Doing Namaskaratmaka Mangalam of that Devata is appropriate. Why do you have to do Mangalacharana of Brahman? You can do Mangalacharana which is in your tradition. The Devata which you meditate upon, the Devata whom you worship, doing namaskara of to that devata in Mangalacharana is much more appropriate than doing Mangalacharana of Brahma Swarupa. If you ask in this way, then I'll answer Samadhanam Uchyate. I will give you the clarification. Yat Swarupa Parijnaya Sadhakaha Chitta-shuddhaye Nishkama-karmani Chittaikagraya Upasanani cha यमादि अष्टांग सहिताः आचरन्ति तादृश प्रत्यगेकरस चिन्मात्र अखंड ब्रह्म रूपत्वात् स्वस्य मम कमन्यम नमस्कुर्याम. कमन्यम नमस्कुर्याम. Whom should I worship? Whom should I bow down to? Namaskara is done to someone who is different from me. Anyam. But if there is no other, nothing different from me, whom should I bow down to? Yat Swarupa Parijnanaya. Let's come to the beginning. Swarupa Parijnanaya. Parijnanaya, for the purpose of knowing. To know. With the desire to know. Yat Swarupa. That true nature. To know that true nature What do they do? Sadhakaha, those who are desirous, those who are doing sadhana, chitta shuddhaye nishkama karmani. What do they do? To purify their mind, antahkarana, nishkama karmani kurvanti. They do nishkama karma, actions without any desire. And furthermore, what do they do? They do chittaikagriyaya upasananicha. And it is not just having chitta shuddhi. You also need to have chittaikagrata, single pointedness of mind. Now somebody may ask, what do you mean by chittaikagra and chitta shuddhi? How can you differentiate them? Simple answer. Chitta shuddhi, mind being pure. Usually, what is the example which is given in Shastra for pure mind? The example is given of a child, like a child. He doesn't have any preconceived notions, nothing. He will do something, he will just leave it. So, we say that that child's mind is pure, Shuddha. But do we say that his mind is Ekagra? No, it is Chanchala. It is always moving from one thing to another. His mind may be pure, there might not be any dvesha, raga, etc. But there will be chanchalata, disturbance of mind. It will not be ekagra, single pointed. So to have that single pointedness of mind, what do these sadhakas do? Upasana nicha. They do upasana. And how do they do? With yamadi ashtanga sahitaha. With yamadi ashtanga. So they perform ashtanga yoga. What is the purpose of ashtanga yoga? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Doing nirodha of chitta vritti. What do we mean by nirodha? Putting our mind, focusing our mind where we want to, controlling our mind. That is here referred to as chitta ekagrata. Acharanti, perform. So these sadhakas do nishkama karma for chitta shuddhi, selfless actions, desireless actions to have pure mind, and to have single pointedness of mind, chitta ekagrata. They do upasanadi karma with yamadi ashtanga, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, etc. Dadrusha, like that, pratyageka chinmatra akhanda brahma rupatvat. And why all these efforts have been taken up? To know that Brahman, which is pratyakeka rasa, homogeneous, one, without any parts, eka rasa, pratyak, innermost, chinmatra, chaitanya and chaitanya alone. If you want to translate in English, pure consciousness principle or pure knowledge principle. Akhanda Brahma Rupatvat. That Brahman, which is akhanda, without any parts. Brahma Rupatvat. And that Brahman I am. Me being that Brahman, Swasya Mama. That Brahman being my Swarupa, whom should I bow down to? Because there is nothing else other than me. Tadeva aham mattaha anyat na. There is nothing else other than me. This is further explained. Swaswarupatiriktasya द्वैतस्य अणुमात्रस्य अपि अभावात् भेद घटित त्रिपुटी विषयभूत नमस्कारादि व्यवहारः एव न संभवति इति अभिप्रायः. What is the abhipraya? What is the conclusion? The conclusion is swaswarupatiriktasya. Swaswarupa, my own true nature. Atirikta, something else. Dvaitasya, dvaita, duality. There is no possibility of any duality in me. Swaswarupa atirikta, something which is other than me, is not possible. There is no iota of possibility. Anumatrasya api abhavat. It is not possible at all. And if such is the case, then Bheda Ghatita Triputi Vishaya Bhuta. Triputi Vishaya Bhuta. Bheda Ghatita. Ghatita on account of Bheda, differences. What has been produced on account of differences? Triputi, a combination of three. Group of three. What is that group of three? The action of Namaskara, the one who is doing Namaskara, and the one to whom Namaskara is being done. The performer, the action performed, and for whom or towards whom the action is being performed. Similarly, in case of knowledge, in general sense, in Bhautika Jnana, the object to be known is one, the process of knowledge taking place is two, and the knower is the third. Jnata, Jnana, Jneya. Here, Namaskara is possible in case of Triputi only, in presence of Triputi alone, because Namaskaradi Vyavaharaha, the action or the Vyavahara of Namaskara, the bowing down is possible when there is something else other than me to whom I can bow down. If it is not possible to have something else to bow down to, I cannot do Namaskara as you have asked for, because what you have asked for, you have asked that you should do Namaskara to your Ishta Devata, which is in your Guru Parampara. But me being Brahman, if there is nothing else other than me, and to know that Swarupa, everybody puts forth efforts, then tell me, how can I do Namaskara to something else if there is nothing else other than me? It is not possible. Thus, what the way I have done Mangalacharana is right, is appropriate. Having said this, the explanation of Mangalacharana and the questions, objections which have been raised is concluded. But author further continues with the importance of this text. He says, what is the Mahima, greatness of this text, Grantha Mahima? Author explains, वेदांत सिद्धांत रूप नीरपूर्णः अतिगंभीरः अयं विचारसागराख्यः ग्रंथः. This text is named Vichara Sagarakhya. Akhya named as, known as. This grantha is known as Vichara Sagara. Why is it known as Vichara Sagara? We had seen during introductory part. Here explanation is being given. Vedanta Siddhanta Rupa, in form of Vedanta Siddhanta. There are these many Vedanta Siddhanta, but here it has been compared to Neer, a water, an ocean. This text is like an ocean in which there are many Vedanta Siddhanta. Siddhantas of Vedanta. What will happen when you study this text? Gurumukhat तीव्रतर श्रद्धा भक्ति साधन चतुष्टय पूर्वकम् अस्य ग्रंथस्य श्रवण मनन निदिध्यासन जन्य स्वस्वरूप अपरोक्ष साक्षात्कारेण अविद्यादि अखिल अनर्थ निवृत्त्या केवला द्वितीय चिन्मात्र रूपः धीरः परमानंदम आपनोति. Paramanandam apnoti. What will he get? Paramanandam. That is prayojana, the purpose. Anytime further it is going to come, later it is going to come when we go to Anubandha. Always it is asked whenever an action is undertaken or any inquiry is undertaken, what is the purpose of this inquiry? What will I get? Why should I do this inquiry? Then purpose is clear and the topic is understood, then alone inquiry further can be undertaken. That's why here prayojana is being given. Dhiraha. Who is a dhiraha? Dhiraha is Viveki. Author in its tika has given explanation as Dhihi Buddhihi. What is Dhi? Buddhi, intellect. Ra, Rakshati, from Vishayas, from involving in Vishaya. Through Vairagya, without enjoying Vishayas, it protects its jnana. The one who tries to protect its knowledge, Brahma Jnana, by what is turning his mind from Vishaya towards self, withdrawing mind from Vishayas and turning it towards self. Why? To protect Buddhi. He is a dhira. When will such a dhira, such a person will achieve this Paramananda apnoti? When will he get? It is said, Guru Mukhat Tivratara Shraddha Bhakti Sadhana Chatushtaya Purvakam Asya Granthasya Shravanam. When he listens to Shravana, from whom? Guru Mukhat, from a Guru, a competent Guru. And he is not listening just like that. He has Tivratara Shraddha. Shraddha cannot be translated as faith. Shraddha is Shraddha. What is Shraddha? It will be explained later. Bhakti. Bhakti is Pujita Bhavaha. The idea that it is auspicious, it is good, it is for my well being. Sadhana Chatushtaya Purvakam. And who is full of Sadhana Chatushtaya? He has Sadhana Chatushtaya. All these are introducing new topics which are going to be taken up later. Sadhan Chatushtaya will be the next. Sadhan Chatushtaya Purvakam Asya Granthasya, of this Grantha, doing Shravana, listening, Manana, reflecting, and Nididhyasana, doing repetition of conclusion. What is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana? Independently, it will be explained later in the text. But here let's understand what is Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana is listening. Primarily, it is listening. Listening to what? To Mahavakya or Mahavakya Artha, the explanation of Mahavakya, etc. Then is it just Shravana? No. What is the definition of Shravana? Shravana is defined as वेदांतानाम अशेषाणाम आदि मध्यावसानतः ब्रह्मात्मन्येव तात्पर्यम इति धीहि श्रवणम भवेत्. You have listened. See, Shravana is literally translated as listening. But even after listening, no conclusion in my mind has taken place, or nothing which is tangible has been understood. It is useless. Something has to be understood, and whatever that I have understood about that, doubts need to be raised. My understanding might be half-hearted. My understanding might not be complete, but something has to be understood in my mind. Then alone, Shravana has taken place. Otherwise, it is just words falling on my ear, nothing else. So, what is listening and what is Shravana? Vedantanam Asheshanam. Throughout Vedanta, listening to all Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra, Adi Madhya Avasanataha. May that be in the beginning, in between, and in the end. Brahmatmanyeva Tatparyam. What is the Tatparya? What is the conclusion, final conclusion of that listening? Brahma Atma Aikya. Oneness between Brahma and Atma. If this conclusion has not been achieved or to come to, if I have not come to this conclusion, then Shravana has not taken place. Why? Because that is the Tatparya of whole Vedanta. Now, after having to this conclusion through Shravana, I may have doubt. How is it possible? Yes, I know. Shastra is surely saying, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. But how is it possible? Shastra has repeatedly said through different Mahavakyas, various Mahavakyas. And what is that conclusion? I am that Brahman. But I still don't understand. I still have doubts. Then what do? Do manana. Reflect upon what you have listened to. And through that reflection, if there are any doubts, remove those doubts based on the logic and inquiry provided by the Shastra itself. Don't use your own mind there. Because if you want to understand how the conclusion has been achieved or somebody has come to certain conclusion, you have to thoroughly know the path or the inquiry that person has taken. Say, for example, in scientific inquiry, there is always research methodology. A method is taken up when any experiment is performed, and that methodology is explained in that paper. Now, if somebody wants to replicate those results, he has to exactly undergo the method that other person has taken. He should not deviate from that method. And by repeatedly performing that same method, if another person comes to a different conclusion, then the result might differ. Then, when same conclusion is achieved, an objection can be raised why this particular method is wrong. And how that method is wrong has to be proven, and then alone different result can be produced. Let's take an example. If I am using my eyes to see red color, I am using my eyes, or let's make this simpler. I am using my eyes to see white color. Other person comes and says, no, it's not white, it's red. I say, I'm using my eyes to see that red color. He also says, I also am using my eyes to see that color, but that's not white, that is red. In reality, the color is white. But the thing is, even though that person is using his eyes, he is wearing contact lenses or goggles, spectacles with red glass. Now he has not followed the method which I have taken up. When I say I'm using my eyes, I say I'm using my eyes alone. Now, when he uses his eyes alone and he says it's not white, it's cream or some off white color, then we have to inspect, then we have to see, we have to have color chart, have some reference point, which is the standard, and then come to a conclusion. Same is with Manana. I cannot use my own logic and say your idea is wrong because I have not followed your methodology and come to that conclusion. I have to use manana, the process of inquiry used by Shastra again and again, reflect and see if I'm coming to that same conclusion. If I have doubts about that methodology, ask if it is right or wrong. And in the end, I will be convinced that this method of inquiry is right. Thus, the conclusion I have come to. What is that conclusion? I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi is right. This whole process of reflection is manana. Now, my knowledge, I am Brahman, is in a way doubtless because I know Shastra is trying to say that and that alone. There is no other conclusion possible in Shastra. Okay, but I don't feel like I'm Brahman. Why? Because the idea that I am this body is dridha, is very much firm. To remove this idea, this notion that I am this body, which pops up again and again, which crops up again and again, we need to do nididhyasana to remove that misconception. So, in nididhyasana, when we are repeating any Mahavakya, what exactly is happening is we are removing all anatma vritti, vishaya vritti in our mind and doing santana, having the continuous flow of thoughts of my own true swarupa, that is Brahma Atma Aikya. That is Nididhyasana or meditation as explained by or as expected by Vedanta. ताभ्याम निर्विचिकेत सेर्थे ताभ्याम श्रवण मननाभ्याम. In Panchadashi first chapter, Vidyaranya Muni defines Nididhyasana as Tabhyam nirvichikitse arthe. Tabhyam, that which has been come to conclusion. Artha, meaning. Chetasa sthapitasya yat. Putting that, establishing that understanding in my mind by repeatedly thinking on it again and again. Then when I am repeatedly thinking, you should not have any doubt. If you have doubt and you start inquiry, you will fall back to manana. It will not be nididhyasana. And when such nididhyasana is done, when all doubts have been removed, the knowledge which is exactly like the one which you listen to in Shravana will take place. Let me rephrase and restate the statement. The knowledge which is going to take place will be exactly like that you have listened to in Shravana. With Nididhyasana, no new knowledge is taking place. With Nididhyasana, no new knowledge is taking place. Only doubts are being removed. And when those doubts are removed, what will you achieve is aparoksha sakshatkara. Later, again in detail, this will be taken up, but the topic has been taken. Topic is here. That's why I explained. Vedanta says knowledge will take place in Shravana alone, or knowledge should take place in Shravana alone, because Shravana is means of knowledge. Jnana sadhana, provided, asterisk, terms and conditions applied. You are sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari pramata. You have purity of mind, single pointedness of mind, and you are sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. When you are totally eligible, then alone, in Shravana alone, knowledge will take place. Otherwise, you have to put forth effort to remove doubts via manana and nididhyasana. And when those doubts are removed, that which you listened in Shravana, that alone you will experience how aparokshataya, sakshatkarena, directly without any intermediary thought modifications. And when that knowledge takes place, that aparoksha sakshatkarena, what will happen is avidyadi akhila nivritya, anartha nivritya. Akhila anartha, all calamities in form of ignorance, etc. Ignorance, that is avidya, vikshepa, and its effect, superimpositions, projections, taking this world to be real, etc. This all will be removed. And then kevala advitiya chinmatra rupaha dhiraha. Brahmavit brahmaiva bhavati. The one who knows Brahman himself will become Brahman, and such a person Paramanandam apnoti. He will gain unsurpassed happiness. Why? Because Ananda is his Swarupa. It's his true nature. Now, this being the Prayojana of Grantha, what Grantha is trying to achieve? Grantha is trying to take you to that state where you will have Paramananda. Even though this is true, you may ask, why are you writing this text? Are there not many other texts which explain the same thing? Already there are so many Prakaran Granthas which explain same thing, Brahma Atma Aikya. And this doubt or this question, objection, is every time raised and has to be answered whenever you are writing a new book or new text. When there are so many other texts which are available, which explain the same thing that you are explaining, what is that which is unique to your explanation? Author is explaining that. Author says, Nanu satsu aneka prachinodgrantheshu sutra bhashya vartikadishu किम इति अयम अपूर्वः ग्रंथः अधुना विरच्यते इति चेत न. Why are you writing this text? Even though nanu satsu, even though there are aneka prachinod grantheshu, aneka prachina, aneka, many prachinod grantha, any many ancient texts are there. What are they? Sutra, Tadbhashya Vartikadishu. There is Sutra, that is Brahma Sutra, Tadbhashya, Brahma Sutra Bhashya is there. Tadvartika, Vartika, on that Bhashyas are there. So there are commentaries, there are sub commentaries. Then Kimiti ayam apurvaha granthana adhuna virachyate. Then why are you composing this new text? There is no uh, requirement to compose this new text. If you ask so, if you say so, then I will answer. Tesham atyanta प्रौढ़ोत्तम अधिकारित्वेन मंदानाम उपकाराय अस्य साफल्यात्. Answer is very much simple. Tesham For those texts, those ancient texts which we have referred to, Atyanta Praudha Uttama Adhikaritvena. You need to be Adhikari. Your eligibility, Praudha and Uttama. You need to have higher qualification. You need to well versed in Sanskrit. You need to well versed in Nyaya. You need to well versed in all other darshanas. Then alone you will understand what exactly has been explained. So the requirement, the adhikara, which is expected by those texts is very high. For simple-minded people, they are useless. And thus, mandanam upakaraya. To simplify, to make this available to everyone, those who cannot understand such difficult texts, this grantha will give this same result, asya safalyat. That result which is given by those ancient texts for which adhikara, the expectation of adhikara is very high, same result will be achieved by this text which is much more simpler and is useful for manda, for dull-minded people. Okay, I accept. But such simple text, there are many such simple texts. Are there not? Yes, there are many simple texts, but they are not all according to Shastra. There might be some wrong notions, wrong understanding, wrong explanations, and thus we need. I have composed this text where I have been true to the Vedantic knowledge, Vedantic inquiry itself. Bhashya author says in its tika, तत्सु अपि अनेक भाषा ग्रंथेषु पंचभाषात्मबोधादिषु विना विचारसागरं स्वात्मविषयक सर्वसंशयाः न निवर्तेरन्. Now this is referring to original Vicharasagara in Hindi. ननु सत्सु अपि अनेक भाषा ग्रंथेषु. Even though there are aneka bhasha grantha bhasha in Hindi, text which have been written in Hindi language. Bhasha actually refers to all the colloquial languages or dialects. And that's why author further says, Pancha bhashatma bodhadishu vina. Without knowing these Pancha bhasha. What is Pancha bhasha? Pancha Prakrita bhasha. The olden dialects or languages which were spoken regionally with Sanskrit. And what were they? They are said Maharashtri, Chauraseni, Magadhi, Prachya, and Avanti. Maharashtri in the region of Maharashtra, Chauraseni in the region of Mathura, Magadha in the region of Gujarat, or what we say Gujarati. But when we say in the area of Gujarat, it's not just Gujarat. Gujarat, Kutch, Rajasthan, all they have to be taken up, which are similar to each other. If we say Maharashtra, Marathi, Konkani, etc., everything needs to be taken up. Prachya, East Indian languages, so Asami, Bengali, etc., and Avanti in the region of Ujjain. There are many texts in these different languages. But if you are to study that text, you need to know those languages. Without knowing those languages, you will not know what has been explained. So without knowing those languages, or even if I do translate, pardon, this is referring to original text. So Vichara Sagara has been translated into these different languages. But Even though it has been translated, why have I translated in Sanskrit? They will not remove all the doubts. Na nivarteran. Why? Because not everybody knows all those languages, but everybody can understand Sanskrit. This is in that olden time. Why? Because those who are really curious to study will try to learn Sanskrit. Somebody who wants to study Vedanta, he is going to learn Sanskrit. He is not going to learn Bengali or Gujarati or Hindi. If my mother tongue is Marathi and if I want to learn Vedanta, of course I'm going to learn Sanskrit, which is the original language, for the explanation. I'm not going to study any other language. And if the student of Vedanta is going to learn Sanskrit, then this text needs to be composed in Sanskrit language. Okay. But then there are many other texts which are in Sanskrit language. What about them? Author says, I'll explain about them, what about those, but that I will explain in the next class. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om